today. If you know how to subtract, then 3C.4 should be easy peasy, okay? Raise your hand if you also remember how to do regression models. Remember regressions from this fall? They're back again. All right. So let's dive on in. This should be quick and painless. So 3C.4, our goal here is that we're going to talk about a method to determine the degree of a polynomial. Okay, so how do we determine if the given data is a first degree, second degree, third degree, fourth degree, fifth degree, sixth degree? You get where I'm going, right? How do we do that? Well, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is make sure that your x values are equally spaced in numerical order, and then you're going to find the difference between your y values. Once the y values have a common difference, that's how you know what degree your polynomial is. Does that make sense? All right, so let's go into these steps. So again, list the terms in sequence of numbers. So in order of the x's, you're going to find the difference between your y's. So when we're finding the difference, so this is our x values are in order. And then we're going to do y2 minus y1. Okay, and then repeat on and on and on. The next, then it will be y3 minus y2, then y4 minus y3, and then y5. Get what I'm going? I probably should have written the y's. Yeah. y2 minus y1, and then it keeps going. So after you do y2 minus y1, you'll do y3 minus y2, and then you'll do y4 minus y3, and it just keeps going, okay? That's finding the difference. And you're waiting to see when are they the same. And you're going to count the number of times it takes for you to have a common difference, okay? The common difference is what we're looking for. Okay, how many times it takes us to find the common difference? There should be a part A and a part B that you picked up today. Did y'all pick up part A and part B? Yeah, in the basket, you should have picked up part A and part B. Okay. And then the number of subtractions, that's the degree that best fits that data. Okay, remember the degree when we're talking about it, we are looking to see I'm just set a brain fart. We're looking to see what best models. So we're going to talk about our degrees really quick. I think if I didn't leave you enough room, you may have to write it at the top or the bottom of your page. But a first degree polynomial. If you're first degree, guess what? That just means linear. Okay? A second degree, that just means quadratic. We've already been working with polynomials all along. Does that make sense? It's just that we learned them as linears and quadratic. But a first degree polynomial is just simply a linear function. That A looks weird and sad. A second degree polynomial is a quadratic. And I forgot the A in quadratic, and y'all were going to say nothing to me. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. Quadratic. Okay? Do we already know everything about linears and quadratics? Yes, you've been doing them for a while. So again, you've been working with polynomials, all right? What we're now moving on to is third and fourth degree. And we're going to talk about what a third and fourth degree is, okay? All right. Again, remember, all the game is, can you subtract? That's all we're doing. Difference. Difference just means subtract. It is your y2 minus your y1, then your y3 minus your, and when we say, so this is our y1, this is our y2, this is our y3, this is our y4, this is our y5. So y2 minus y1, y3 minus y2, y4 minus y3, y5 minus y4. Does that make sense? That's all we're doing. Got it? All right, so up first, this is our first difference. So y2 minus y1 would be 15 minus 55. What is 15 minus 55? Negative 40. Get it? Now we're going to do y3 minus y2. So 1 minus 15. What is 1 minus 15? negative 14.
Then 1 minus 1 is
And then
0.
1 minus 1. I'm so glad you knew that. And then we have 3 minus 1.
2.
What?
That was 1 minus 3.
It's
Yeah.
2.
It's not my fault.
Okay. Are these the same value?
You don't know.
The answer is no. So therefore, our D1 is not the same. So then we're going to do it again. Now we're going to find the second difference. So second difference. So we have negative 14 minus negative 40. We're going to have 0 minus negative 14. We're going to have 2 minus 0. A negative times a negative makes a positive. So negative 14 plus 40 equals 26. A negative times a negative is a positive. So this equals positive 14. And 2 minus 0 is 2. Is the second difference the same? No. So not D2. Moving on to D3. It's kind of like, you're trying to go to college to be an athlete. Were you good enough for D1? No. D2? No. Guess let's try D3. Let's see what happens. All right. So we have 14 minus 26, and we have 2 minus 14. What is 14 minus 26? Negative 12. What is 2 minus 14? Negative 12. Are they the same? Yeah. So which one worked? The third difference. Yes. Our third difference works. So that means that this is a third degree polynomial. What we call a third degree polynomial is called a cubic. A third degree polynomial is called a cubic function.
Okay.
Was that terrible? No, I said all you need to do is be able to do what? Subtract. And if you can subtract, then this is easy peasy.
Subtract.
Okay?
Then add. Then subtract.
That's all. All right. So guess whose turn it is at their groups?
Everyone.
Everyone's. It is your turn. So at your group, you're going to work through this one, check with each other, and then we're going to. Okay. So up here, again, all you're doing is find the difference. So you start with your difference 1. So difference 1, you had negative 19 minus negative 20, which was just 1. You had negative 9 minus negative 19, which is 10. You had 5.5 minus negative 9, which is, because you end up doing what with the 2? Adding them. You had 20 minus 5.5, which gave you 14.5. And you had 30 minus 20, which gives you 10. Does D1 work? No, don't give up. Keep trying to get that scholarship. Go on to the next. See a life lesson here, All right, next. 10 minus 1 is 9. 14.5 minus 10, 4.5. 14.5 minus 14.5 is, and 10 minus 14.5 puts us at negative 4.5. Did D2 work? No, I didn't get that scholarship. Dang. On to the next. I'm going to try. Huh? Yeah. It has to be the same. Here, 10 minus 14.5, it's negative 4.5. Where do you see a 10?
I was talking about it equals the first.
Oh, that has nothing to do with anything. Yeah, it's all about differences. We're not adding or anything. So 4.5 minus 9 is going to be negative 4.5. 0 minus 4.5 is going to be negative 4.5. And then negative 4.5 minus 0 is going to be negative 4.5. At D3, that's when we had the exact same differences. Every difference has to be the same. We have to have a common difference. No, that was just because that's all we had left. So on this one, we only came down to 2. We had no more to give, right? On this one, we had another one, and they all have to be exactly the same. We're going to look and see when they're not and what that means as far as just figuring out. But they're same. It took us to D3, so this is a third degree. And what do we call a third degree again? Cubic. It's a cubic. Okay, if you made an error or mistake, do we get it? Okay, here's your turn to try again to make sure we got it. For real, for real. Huh? Yeah. All right, so here we are, my friends. We were good to go in order. So again, we start off with D1, negative 6 minus negative 2. That's a negative times a negative makes a positive, so it becomes negative 4. 0 minus negative 6, again, a negative times a negative makes a positive. 10 minus 0 is 10. 20 minus 10 is 10. 28 minus 20 is 8. Did D1 work? No. So we're going to go to D2. 6 minus negative 4, a negative and a negative makes a positive, so this becomes 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. 10 minus 10 is 0. 8 minus 10 is negative 2. Did D2 work? No. D3. 4 minus 10 is negative 6. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Negative 2 minus 0 is negative 2. Ooh, D3 didn't work. Looks like we're going NIA. Is that what it's called? NA? I don't know. No, that thing. D4 or JUCO, whichever. Negative 4 minus negative 6 gives us a positive 2. Negative 2 minus negative 4 gives us a positive 2. Are they the same? Yes. How long did it take us? D4. It took us 4. So this is a 4th degree, which we call a quartic polynomial. So 4th degree is called quartic. Yay. All right, one more attempt to make sure we got this in the bag. Remember, if subtracting is your struggle, subtract with a calculator. All right, the bell's gonna ring here in a little bit, so I just want to make sure we're good. On D2, think of anytime your decimals, think about money. Sometimes it just makes your brain want to do things a little better. So your D1 did not work, so you went on to D3. If you have $3.30 in your bank account and you want to buy something that's $4, if you use that $3.30 on your bank account, you're gonna be left with a negative 70 cents, right? If you have $2.60 in your bank account and you try to spend $3.30, you're going to be left with how much? A negative 70 cents. If you have $1.90 in your bank account and you spend $2.60, you're going to be left with a negative 70 cents. And if you have $1.20 in your bank account and you spend $1.09, you're going to be left with a negative 70 cents. So which one worked? D2. So this should have been a second degree. And what do we say second degree is called? Quadratic. All right. That is part A of this section. How do we feel? Was it doable?